Once you've watched the video on how to form the perfect tense with avoir, you can start using higher level phrases. Just like this phrase, apres avoir, after having. It's really simple and really easy to do, but it's a higher level phrase to the examiner. So if you can use one or two of these in your writing exam, you're going to really show the examiner that you have a really higher grasp of grammar. So all you do is you put the phrase apres avoir, after having, together with a past participle. Après avoir mangé, after having eaten. Après avoir regardé, after having watched. Après avoir tué, after having killed. If you keep that après avoir and you use it with a past participle, you can say a range of things. And it allows you to sort of create your own time marker in the past. So in English, you might say, after having eaten the meal, we went to the cinema. So you're creating a time marker in the past. Après avoir visité le château, nous avons mangé dans un restaurant. After having visited the castle, we ate in a restaurant. The past participles are exactly the same as they were for forming the perfect tense. You have your infinitive verb, you take off the last two letters, and depending on what those letters are, so aimer is an ER verb, you take those off and you add E with an accent. Après avoir aimé, after having liked. Or finir is an IR verb, you take off the IR and you replace it with an I. Après avoir fini, after having finished. And then vendre, for example, it's an RE verb, so you take off the RE and you replace it with a U to make it sold. Après avoir vendu, after having sold. Have a look underneath. There are 3 for you to try to see if you can follow these patterns. Pause the video now, write them down, and then you can check your answers. So pause the video now. Now that you've got your answers, quick check. Après avoir écouté, after having listened. Après avoir choisi, after having chosen. Après avoir vendu, after having sold. The other thing to remember from the previous lesson, or the previous video on the perfect tense, is not every verb has a regular past participle. Some of them change more dramatically, as you can see here in red, and they just need to be learned and practiced. So if you wanting to say after having read, you have to say après avoir lu. There are 3 more underneath. Try them, pause the video, and so you can check your answers. Now that you've unpaused the video and you've got your answers written down, après avoir lu, after having read. Après avoir permis, after having allowed. Après avoir fait, after having done. Here are some examples of how it may look in a piece of writing that you can do, and it's just given simple sentences here. Après avoir fait mes devoirs, je suis allé en ville avec mes amis. After having done my homework, I went to town with my friends. Après avoir mangé trop de frites, j'ai vomi dans la toilette. After having eaten too many chips, I vomited in the toilet. Après avoir écouté la musique de Gucci Gang, j'ai poignardé mon stéréo. After having listened to Gucci Gang's music, I stabbed my stereo. This is really useful in getting narration into your writing as well, because you're going to say something original and you're going to say something more interesting than the standard. You're telling a little story, what happened after something else. So it's another way of including higher level phrases in your language. As an extension, there is the other video on the perfect tense about using it with être. There's some verbs, those verbs of motion, where you can't say j'ai, you've got to say je suis. You already know je suis allé is I went. It's not j'ai allé, it's je suis allé. And for any of those verbs that start je suis in the past, you can just use, instead of après avoir, après être. For example, après être allé, after having been. Or après être allé, after having been. The difference between these two is that when you use après être, you have to add some extra letters to show that your verb agrees. So an extra E if you're a girl, or an extra S if you're talking about more than one person who's been doing those actions. I've given a list underneath of the past participles of everything that could be après être. So après être monté, after having climbed. Après être retourné, after having returned. Après être tombé, after having fallen. Après être sorti, after having went out. Okay, this video is really short and really quick, but these higher level phrases, once you've mastered the perfect tense, are very easy to form and really, really useful to get into your writing. Thanks for watching.